Things are heating up in the NASCAR racing world. Today, we'll take a look at a recent on-track incident involving Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson that has everyone talking. But what's got people really buzzing is a shocking accusation made by none other than Kenny Wallace. And above that, Elliott didn't hold back, firing back at Kenny Wallace. So stay tuned to see how Chase Elliott responds to Kenny Wallace's intriguing claim. But before that, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button for more whereabouts on NASCAR. It's been a few days since that wild evening at the Kansas Speedway, but the memory of screeching tires and crunching metal still ring in our ears. What was supposed to be a calm and collected race turned into an absolute spectacle. The surprising winner, Tyler Reddick from 23XI Racing, stole the spotlight, while big names like Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, and Kyle Larson settled for top 5 spots. It must have been frustrating for these drivers, but perhaps no one had a worse night than the unlucky Chase Elliott. Welcome to the latest NASCAR drama, where Chase Elliott found himself at the center of it all, rubbing fenders and ruffling feathers with none other than his Hendrick Motorsports teammate. Fans were treated to a nail-biting show as Elliott and Kyle Larson, both teammates under Rick Hendrick's banner, traded paint and egos. Was it masterful racing or calculated chaos? Well, that's up for debate. Things really heated up during Stage 2 when Elliott made a bold, some might say audacious move, by nudging Kyle Larson in Turn 1. While Elliott insisted he was innocent, Larson wasn't entirely convinced. With just 5 laps to go, their cars collided as they exited pit road. Clearly angered, Elliott retaliated by giving Larson's number 5 Chevy a shove, sending shockwaves through the Hendrick Motorsports team and fans alike. But upon closer inspection, it appears that Larson was pushed into the mix by Brad Keselowski, making this incident less clear-cut than it initially seemed. Whose fault was it, really? That's the million-dollar question. NASCAR insider Jeff Gluck shared his take on Twitter, saying, "Chase Elliott made it out like there was no intention to hit Kyle Larson on pit road and acted puzzled when the question was raised. Larson said once they both see the replay, he thinks Elliott will realize Larson had nowhere to go." And if the on-track tensions weren't enough, Kyle Larson, who had a strong start by winning Stage 1, experienced a sharp decline in performance, eventually finishing in 4th place due to some issues in a turn. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott, not in the playoff picture, settled for a 6th-place finish in the race. It was a day of racing that left us with more questions than answers, and the fan base seemed as split as a racetrack divided by a caution flag. During the Kenny Wallace show, Kenny got into the recent incident involving Rick Hendrick's star drivers, Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. Kenny started by painting a picture of what happened during a pit stop. Both Larson and Elliott were leaving their pits side by side when a third car exited its pit box, causing Larson to make a slight adjustment to avoid contact. Back then, it might have seemed like a minor hiccup, but as they left the pit road and got onto the apron, Chase Elliott's frustration became pretty evident, complete with some not-so-subtle gestures hinting at retaliation. Kenny explained it like this. "So Kyle Larson leaves his pits, no problem. He looks in his mirror, and there's Chase, no problem. They're just gonna leave pit road side by side. However, you clearly see we've all listened. I watched the replay 42 times. 42 chickens. So Kyle Larson comes out, his mind in his own business. And then another car leaves its pit box, and kind of gets right there with Kyle Larson. I love Chase Elliott, but he's just frustrated. That's all there is to it. Kyle Larson didn't do anything wrong. Chase didn't do anything wrong. This was, as they say, this was a nothing burger. There's no hamburger there, no food, nothing." Kenny also pointed out that when Larson was interviewed after the race, he seemed unaware of the full extent of Elliott's frustration. Initially, Kenny didn't think his incident was a big deal, but he made it clear that the NASCAR playoffs have a knack for turning even the tiniest of incidents into full-blown dramas. But wait, the battle of the top dogs at Hendrick Motorsports didn't stop there. Kenny Wallace had his own bold claim to make. Kenny threw some love toward William Byron and Alex Bowman, 2 highly successful drivers in their own right. While he acknowledged Chase Elliott's massive popularity, he made it clear where he stood when it came to Kyle Larson. Wallace continued, "What is going on with Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, You got a battle for who's the ace, right? Both are champions. Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson are both champions. Then you got William Byron, who can be a champion. He's a winner, and you got Alex Bowman and another winner. But I know Chase Elliott is the most famous driver. No doubt, but listen, Kyle Larson is the greatest driver in our era." What are your thoughts on Kenny Wallace's statements? Let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button for more updates. As we look ahead to the new crop of NASCAR drivers in 2024, there's one lesson that's bound to stand out above all else. avoiding a season like the one Chase Elliott endured in 2023. Missing multiple races due to injury, his comeback didn't pack enough punch to grant him a ticket into the playoff season. To make matters worse, he found himself in a string of controversies. For some, it's understandable that a driver who tasted early success might struggle to accept a downturn. Even so, it's highly unlikely that even Elliot's most die-hard fans could justify his actions at Kansas on that fateful Sunday. In the final moments of the race, Chris Buescher's blown tire brought out the caution flag, forcing all the drivers into pit stops. When they hit the track for the restart, Brad Keselowski squeezed his way into a tight spot with Kyle Larson's Chevrolet, leading to unavoidable contact with Chase Elliott's number 9 car. Unaware of the predicament Larson was in, Chase reacted on impulse and retaliated, letting his frustration show. In an interview with NBC Sports after the checkered flag, Kyle Larson had this to say: "I understand why he's mad, or was mad in the moment. I hope when he sees the replay, he understands I didn't have any space, or not much, just inches. So just a bummer, but I'm glad neither of us got tore up there, and we could get a good finish." While Elliot told Fox Sports, "Our car was really solid. We were in the mix. I thought to have a solid day. We passed Brad Keselowski for third, and that is probably where we were going to finish. We were as close as we've been." Still, the question on everyone's mind after the race was about his incident with Larson. When asked by Fox Sports if he was trying to send a message to Larson, Elliot responded, "There was no message. No problem." While Kyle Larson's words reflect his sportsmanship, the NASCAR fandom hasn't been as forgiving when it comes to Chase's retaliation. When the Athletic reporter Jeff Gluck shared images of Chase's black-gold color scheme car for the upcoming night race at Bristol, fans didn't waste the opportunity to take some jabs. Despite not making it to the playoffs, Chase Elliott is still behind the wheel at every track, aiming to secure an ownership championship for Rick Hendrick. He's gearing up for the Bristol Motor Speedway race on Saturday with the same goal in mind. However, there's one minor change in his lineup. The color scheme of his car won't be the usual blue and white. Jeff Gluck shared the alternative color scheme on his Twitter handle, and the weekend's events are still fresh in everyone's minds. Followers have started to voice their opinions in the comments section, reflecting the sentiments of fans worldwide. A sarcastic exchange unfolded between two users. Many replies showed frustration with Chase's on-track behavior. Another follower of Jeff complimented the car's colors, but couldn't resist taking a shot at the driver. Their comment read, "That'll be the best-looking car that's intentionally wrecking everyone this week." Addressing the ongoing friction between Chase and Kyle Larson, one fan openly suggested that Larson should respond to his teammates' antics. He tweeted, "Larson should door slam him like Elliot loves to do to him. Spoiled brat can't handle being the number 2 guy." The choice of a black-gold color scheme seems to be more than just a random selection of colors. It might have a strategic purpose, especially since the race is taking place at night. Expressing his thought with sarcasm, one fan asked, "Is that so he can sneak up behind his championship contender teammate and wreck him?" One more fan's response garnered a few laughs as he named the scheme Hissy Fit Black. At 27 years old, Chase Elliott, the son of NASCAR legend Bill Elliott, has always been a beloved champion among fans. Winning the Most Popular Driver award multiple times at such a young age, he has the potential to become one of the sport's greatest. However, his inability to consistently demonstrate the composure of a leader could derail him from that path. As the season races towards its dramatic finale, there are still many unanswered questions. Can teammates Elliott and Larson put aside their differences for the greater good? Or will these internal tensions derail Rick Hendrick's championship dreams? What do you think? So that's all we've got for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what you think of the video in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in the upcoming video.